Government among the Arabs. When talking about the Arabs before Islam, we see that it is necessary to outline the history of rural government, sectarianism, and the religious domination of the Arabs to facilitate the understanding of the emergent circumstances when Islam appeared. When the sun of Islam rose, rulers of Arabia were of two kinds: crowded kings, who were in fact not independent, and heads of tribes and clans who enjoyed the same authorities and privileges possessed by the crown kings and were mostly independent, though some of them may have shown some kind of submission to the crown king. The crown kings were those of Yemen and those of Sham, ancient geographical Syria, and the family of Ghassan and the monarchy of Hira. All of the other rulers of Arabia were not crowned. Rule in Yemen. Yemen, the people of Shaba, were one of the oldest known nations of the pure Arabs. They have been mentioned in records as early as the 25th century CE. According to the excavations undertaken at Or, the civilization flourished and their domain spread in the 11th century CE. It is possible to divide their ages to the following estimation. From 13,000 to 620 BC, their nation was known as Ma'inya, during which the kings were called Mekrib Sheba. Their capital was Sarawah, also known as Khariba, whose rules lie in approximately 50 kms northwest of Marib and 142 kms east of Sana'a. During this period, they began building the Dam of Marib, which had great importance in the history of Yemen. Sheba had so great a domain that they had established colonies within and outside Arabia. From 620 BC to 115 BC, during this era, their nation was known as the name of Sheba. They left the name Makrib and assumed the designation of King Sheba. They also made Marib the capital instead of Sarawah. The ruins of Marib lie at a distance of 192 km east of Sana'a. From 115 BC until 300 CE, during this period, the nation became known as Himaraya the first, after the tribe of Himayar conquered the kingdom of Sheba, making Radan their capital, listed instead of Marib. Later on, Radan was called Zifar. Its ruins still lie on the Mudawwar mountain near the town of Yarim. During this period, they began to decline trade and power that eventually led to their downfall. Their trade failed to a great extent, firstly because of the Nabatean domain over northern Hijaz, secondly because of the Roman superiority over the naval trade routes after the Roman conquest of Egypt, Syria, and the northern Hijaz, and thirdly because of the intertribal warfare. Due to the three above-mentioned factors, the family of Qahtan remained disunited and scattered about. 4. From 300 CE until Islam dawned in Yemen, during this period the nation was known as Himayara II, and it was witnessed increasing disorder and turmoil, followed by the civil rebellion and outbreaks of tribal wars, rendering the people of Yemen liable to foreign subjection and hence loss of independence. During this era, the Romans conquered Adan and even helped the Abyssinians, Ethiopians, occupy Yemen for the first time in 340 CE. Making use of this constant intertribal conflict in Hadam and Himyar, the Abyssin-Ethiopian occupation of Yemen lasted until 378 CE, after which Yemen regained its independence. Later cracks began to show in the Marib Dam, which led to the Great Flood 450 or 451 CE, mentioned in the Noble Quran. This was a great event of the nations living therein. In 523 CE, a Jewish ruler named Duh-Noas launched a devastating campaign against the Christians of Najran in order to force them to convert to Judaism. Having refused to do so, they were thrown alive into a big ditch where a great fire was lit. The Quran refers to this event. Cursed were people of the ditch. This aroused great wrath among the Christians, especially the Roman emperors, who not only instigated the Abyssinians, Ethiopians, against the Arabs, but also assembled a large fleet of 70,000 warriors, which helped the Ethiopian army bring about a second conquest to Yemen in 520 CE. Under the leadership of Irayat, he was granted rulership over Yemen, a position he held until he was assassinated by one of his army leaders. Abaraha, after reincarnation, was the king of Abyssinia. Abaraha gained rulership over Yemen and later on deployed his soldiers to attempt to demolish Al-Kaaba, and hence he and his soldiers came to be known as the people of the elephant. In the year 575 CE, after the incident of the people of the elephant, the people of Yemen, under the leadership of Mudarakib bin Saif Duyazin al-Himyari, and though Persian assistance revolted against the Abyssinian Ethiopian invaders, regained independence and appointed Medakarib as their king. However, Medakarib was assassinated by some of his Ethiopian servants. The family of Duyazin was thus deprived of royalty forever. Kisra, the Persian king, appointed a Persian ruler over Sana'a, and this made Yemen a Persian colony. Persian rulers maintained rulership of Yemen until Badhan, the last of them, embraced Islam in 638 CE, thus ending the Persian dominion over Yemen.